This video is going to be on my 90-gallon display tank, which is rarely seen, occasionally neglected. The reason for this video is the new fish, which is quite obvious. That's a gem tang. Got him almost 2 months ago. He went through hybrid tank transfer and then some isolation time. And then I thought about adding him to my main display, but he's quite small and I do have a big yellow tang, so I didn't think that was a good idea, the size difference between the zebrasomas. So why not put him in here? This tank is home to my mated pair of lightning maroons. These guys have produced hundreds of babies over the last couple of years. They actually haven't laid in the last few weeks, probably because of the new addition, but they get along in a really weird way. You can see all three of them are staying in the shot. The male is just hiding out over here. I don't know why, but the tang is almost always near them. I mean, there's plenty of other space over here, but he tends to stay right near them. There's also a mandarin somewhere in here hiding, but that's it for fish. So I do kind of call this tank the formerly expensive fish, the gem tang. He was just $250, so it wasn't like a huge purchase. Actually, I bought him because of the price. I just couldn't say no at that price. I remember going to see the first ones in real life that I ever saw. They were $3,500 each, and at the time that even seemed like a good deal because 3,500 Canadian, they were going for probably 3,000 plus US at the time. Anyways, this tank is a custom Perfecto, which I guess don't exist anymore. It's 36 by 24 by 24, so 3 by 2 by 2. It's just a collection of random corals in my old Indo rock that I couldn't dry out. I originally got this tank for dwarf cuttlefish, probably 12 years ago or so, maybe longer now. And it's held them, a couple of different octopus. Then I had garden eels for many years until I moved out here, and then it was empty for a little bit. I had a lionfish that didn't live particularly long, so that's when I got these guys, the lightning maroons. They've been with me now probably 3 or 4 years. It's actually the second male. The female killed the first one. But these guys have been happily mated for some time, and hopefully I'll have them for many years to come. The corals are just a few simple things. This plating Montipora, I can't think of the species name offhand. And this giant sarcophyton toadstool leather. It's just a brown tannish coral, but I think it's absolutely beautiful. It's probably 16 by 18 or so. This side view is 24 inches across. And it's got beautiful long polyps. It almost looks like a giganta anemone. It's too bad the clownfish don't use it. A long time ago there were bubble tips in here, but I had a really bad Aptasia problem, and I Aptasia X'd the hell out of them, and that ended up taking the bubble tips with them. And then there's just a few other random simple corals, and tons of these invasive pinkish brown pallies. And then the more invasive and toxic button polyps. And then there's a few more of the brighter Tyree toadstool types. There's just one power head in here. This is a Coral Box QP16. It's quite powerful, so it's really doing all the flow other than the return. And the tank is lit by a 250 watt metal halide. I'm sure there's people watching this who have never seen this over a tank. This is the old Coral View reflector, which is quite big. And you can see one bulb does a good job of 3 by 2 coverage. There is some LED strips on the end. Only one of them is currently on. I have an extra clownfish tank here, so I needed some outlets, so I just unplugged one. But the 250 watt bulb basically covers the tank, and I couldn't do that with a single LED fixture, and I had this thing just collecting dust, so why not use it? The sump has literally nothing to it. There's a filter sock, an auto top off, and a return pump. Well, I guess there's a heater somewhere in here too. There it is. There's really nothing else. I am dosing calcium and alkalinity, but that's about it. I rarely will test this tank. I do check periodically just to make sure the alkalinity is not completely gone crazy. But I don't really monitor the parameters otherwise. It's a simple tank. It's not bad looking. It's quite different than my main display tank. But now that I have the gem tang in here, maybe I'll add some more coral. I figure he'll probably stay in here maybe a year. I do hope to get a new display tank next year. If not, and he gets big, he can go in with the yellow tang. The one added benefit of him is he's eaten most of the nuisance algae in this tank. Not that there was much, but I think there's one snail or two and one Halloween hermit, so not really much of a cleanup crew. It's just really a pain to quarantine inverts, so I don't really bother with them because I can't really risk my mated pair of maroons. So really that's it. It's a simple tank. It's very enjoyable. And I guess that's it. Thanks for watching and happy reefing.